As a man, I've come to realize that some truths in life unfold slowly, not in dramatic revelations, but in quiet understandings that deepen over time. One of the most profound truths I've come to know is this: a mother is not just a title. She is a force, a presence, and a foundation. And the meaning of a mother, at least to me, is something that has grown clearer as I've grown older, become a husband, and eventually a father. When I was a child, my mother was the constant in my life. She was the voice that called me in for dinner, the arms that held me when I fell, the person who remembered the names of every teacher, every friend, and every dream I had, even the ones I'd long since forgotten. At the time, I didn't understand how much she carried. I thought food just magically appeared, that clean clothes folded themselves, and that bedtime stories were something parents always had energy for. I didn't realize how many nights she stayed up worrying, how many sacrifices she made without ever saying a word. Looking back now, I understand that being a mother is a quiet kind of heroism. There's no paycheck, no annual bonus, no days off. And yet, a mother shows up every single day because love has made her relentless. She can be tired, overwhelmed, even afraid, but she keeps going. Why? Because her child needs her to. Because her love isn't optional. It's instinctive. As a man, I was raised to be strong in a way that often meant quiet, independent, even stoic. But the older I get, the more I see that the strongest person I've ever known wasn't loud or forceful. It was my mother, who held everything together with gentle hands and an unbreakable will. She taught me that strength can be soft, that protection doesn't always come with shields and swords, but sometimes with warm meals, whispered prayers, and firm but loving guidance. She taught me that being a man isn't about dominance or control, but about responsibility, compassion, and showing up, especially when it's hard. Motherhood, I've come to understand, is layered. It's nurturing, yes, but it's also teaching, leading, sacrificing, healing. It's discipline and grace, patience and fire. It's standing at the doorway with a lunchbox in one hand and a lecture in the other. It's being your child's biggest fan, and sometimes their harshest critic, because a mother sees not only who you are, but who you could be. There were moments in my life where I pushed back. I thought I knew better. I wanted space. I made mistakes. But through all of it, my mother was a steady hand in the background, not always intervening, but never disappearing. She believed in me in ways I didn't even believe in myself. That, to me, is one of the truest meanings of a mother: belief. A belief so deep that it becomes the voice you hear years later when you're facing something difficult. You've got this. I know you do. When I became a father, something in me shifted. Suddenly, I was on the other side. I was the protector. I was the teacher. And in that role, I found myself reaching for my mother's wisdom again and again. I heard her words in my mouth, her values guiding my choices. I understood the pressure she felt, the weight of wanting to give your child everything while still trying to raise them right. The sleepless nights, the endless worries, the joy and the heartbreak. They all made sense now. I also began to understand that mothers are not perfect. They're human. They make mistakes. They get tired, frustrated, and scared. But what sets mothers apart is their willingness to keep trying, to keep loving, even when it's hard, even when their love is taken for granted. My appreciation for my mother deepened when I saw my wife become a mother. Watching her give birth to our children, watching her nurture them, advocate for them, pour her whole self into their well-being. It opened my eyes in a new way. It made me realize that motherhood is one of the most sacred and demanding roles a person can take on. It is not just biology. It's devotion, day in and day out. In many ways, a mother gives twice, first in the giving of life and then in the giving to life, shaping it, sustaining it, and sending it out into the world. And she does all this knowing that one day, her children will leave. That the very goal of motherhood is to prepare your child to not need you in the same way anymore. There's something beautifully bittersweet about that. To love someone so much that you're willing to let them go when the time comes. That's a level of selflessness few understand until they become parents themselves. I think about my mother often now, when I'm tired, when I don't know the right answer, when I feel overwhelmed by the weight of fatherhood. And then I remember she did all of this without asking for credit, without ever quitting, with love as her compass. So what is the meaning of a mother to me? She is foundation. She is the quiet architect of character. She is the first person to love you, the one who teaches you what love should feel like. She is the shield and the sanctuary, the truth teller and the comforter. She is where we come from, and who we carry with us long after she's gone. A mother is not just someone you have. She's someone you become part of. Her values, her voice, her love, all living on in you. And if you're lucky, like I was, her love doesn't stop when you grow up. It evolves. It becomes the standard by which you love others. It becomes the voice that steadies you in the storm. It becomes the root of who you are, strong, compassionate, and unshakable. In a world that often measures value by wealth, status, and power, I've come to see that one of the greatest privileges a man can have is to be raised by a good mother, and to recognize her for the gift that she truly is. Because in the end, mothers shape more than just children. They shape generations. If you love this video, please show your love. Please hit the like and subscribe button and see you on our next video.